Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about mindfulness and therapy. So I realize that this is a topic that, interestingly, as I look back on what I've taught, I haven't mentioned this very much. And I think it's really a great topic to bring up. And it doesn't even have to be necessarily about therapy itself. I think I wanted to use the topic name just to kind of open the door about how mindfulness can help us as we're working on self-improvement. And that's really a bit about what we talked about last time. So what's the purpose of mindfulness? Why should we bother meditating? What can we hope to get out of our meditation is a deeper self-awareness. And so this is really kind of that foundational thing that we can do, is that we can get to know ourselves better. We can become aware of what our thoughts are. So as we try to stay focused in our meditations, we'll find that staying focused isn't easy. And a lot of people give up in their meditation because they go, I can't stay focused. And hey, well, welcome to the club, because nobody can stay focused. It's something that everyone struggles with. And in fact, remembering that losing focus in your meditation does not imply failure in any way. That mindfulness is a gem for the mind, or is it? Is something that we talked about a few weeks ago. And so this is part of the process as we find ourselves distracted and as we bring our mind back to the object of meditation. That practicing of doing that is in fact strengthening the mind and strengthening the brain. You can measure what changes in the brain of a person who's been meditating for even as little as 2 months. So there are changes that begin to happen. And so as we learn to bring the mind back, we are able to be more focused, and we're able to pay attention to what happens when the mind wanders, and start to see our mind wandering with more clarity, and start to realize that, hey, wait a minute, I'm not as focused. I'm not as in control of my thoughts as I thought that I was. And so this is a very valuable little tool that we can have as we continue meditating, and we can bring it into whatever kind of self-improvement initiative we have, and which may include therapy. The other one is the mind-body emotion connection. So our thoughts spawn emotions, which spawn bodily sensations spawn thoughts, which spawn emotions. So all of these things are related. You can't really separate these three things. So physical sensations can make us think something, can cause emotions themselves cause physical sensations, and as we meditate more, we become more familiar with that process. And so this kind of helps me to transition into specifically talking about, I've talked many times about MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, and I think all the time that I've been teaching on Insight Timer, just because I'm an MBSR teacher, I never bothered mentioning MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So something very similar to mindfulness-based stress reduction is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So it's similar in that it's an 8-week course between weeks 5 and 6, or possibly 6 and 7 with MBCT. It's there's a one-day retreat in there, and the difference is that, I mean, even though they're very similar, the difference is that it's more focused on the cognitive side of mindfulness. MBCT was, and I'm not as familiar, by the way, with MBCT as I am MBSR, but it's used to treat depression, to treat generalized anxiety disorder, to treat bipolar, things like this. So addiction. That's the fourth one. So these four issues tend to be dealt with, or it can be treated with MBCT, and again, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, it tends to be that observing of our action the action, thinking, emotion cycle. So watching how our actions affect our thinking and our emotions, and likewise how thinking and emotions affect action. And if we can take time to distill ourselves in the time of meditation, to be focused on what's present, what's going on here and now, noticing how our thoughts come and go, and being accepting of those thoughts. I think this is also something that's really important to be effective in mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, that we need to see our thoughts with neutrality and not to go, well, this is a good thought, this is a bad thought. Because the more that you meditate, the more you realize, I don't have control of my thoughts anyway. My thoughts come and go. What I do have control of is how I react to those thoughts and to those feelings. Will I take action? Is it appropriate to take action? Is it possible to see this with neutrality and to see my own thoughts, whatever they are, sometimes self-defeating thoughts, and I think that's kind of the thoughts that are common with depression, is we'll find a lot of negative self-talk in there, a lot of not accepting ourselves the way that we are, and mindfulness helps to come to that base, and cognitive therapy around that, and to kind of go, I mean, and I use this map analogy often, right? It's hard for us to know what direction to go in the realm of self-improvement if we don't know and accept first where we are. And, we are this way. This is how I am right now. And as much as I want to go, I see in the future, I see ideal me. There it is. Boy, it seems really far away. It seems impossible to get there, right? So is it possible to go, don't bother with this idealized version of myself that I'm striving for? Is it possible instead to just go, hey, this is where I am right now, and to just forget this, right? And to see ourself, right? And part of mindfulness-based stress reduction and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy is to notice our own reactivity, to try our best to observe what reaction that we want to have, what our next action is before we do it. And in fact, if you start to get that skill of being able to observe your action before you act, you'll find that, in fact, without even trying, what you choose to do starts to change. And so these are, they're baby steps in the right direction. They're the baby steps in changing you. So looking down at the future, looking down at future you far away is, can be really it's defeating, right? When you're climbing the mountain and you're far away and you look at the top of the mountain, you go, gosh, that's far away. I'm never going to get there. Instead, look at the ground in front of you. Look at that step you're taking. And this is and let's just say that cognitive therapy, mindfulness has a lot of benefit in the therapeutic realm, and I would encourage you, especially if you're seeing a therapist, to bring your therapist in to your plan about your mindfulness journey. Because sometimes when we practice mindfulness, there can be some kind of unexpected unpacking that happens there. As we meditate, as we distill our minds, things might bubble up that we're not expecting. So it can be very helpful to have someone to talk to and to guide us through this process as we start to uncover, learn more about ourselves, accept where we are, which can be really challenging, and begin to start that journey of self-improvement. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great day or evening wherever you are. Let's go ahead and get into our practice today. I've really been thinking about combining a few pieces of practice, so including awareness, bodily awareness. One of the things that can help as well is self-compassion. So let's go ahead and get into this. And one more is breath work as well. So let's get into our practice here. And Jean says, as one of my therapists, the cognitive one, says, it's the process, not the finished product. Thank you, Jean, for sharing. So get comfortable. So sit comfortably. Just as a reminder, the meditation posture is not one of cross-legged vigor and stiffness, but instead the most important thing about our posture is that it's relaxing yet alert. So sitting up straight and tall can be helpful, but not so rigid that we're tensing up all of our muscles in our back and our neck. If you like, you can allow your eyes to close. And so let's start by feeling into the face, concentrating our attention, noticing how the face feels, the eyebrows. Is there tension? And as this mindfulness process works on reactivity, just noticing the tension, sometimes that's enough to allow that tension to subside. Sometimes it's not. Can you notice the jaw? Are the teeth clenched? With your lips closed, can you allow your jaw to drop slightly so that your teeth are parted? Tongue resting gently on the palate. Noticing the neck, the shoulders. In fact, you may, if you like, roll the shoulders a few times. See if that can assist in any tension release. We can move the head back and forth, left and right. Chin down towards the chest. Just seeing if you can relax or aid your relaxation process with a few gentle movements. Notice the upper back, the lower back. And then bring attention to the abdomen. See if you can begin to observe your own breathing. Feeling your belly expanding as you breathe in, contracting as you breathe out. And just by observing the breath, sometimes we will notice the breath itself begins to change. Oftentimes, as we become more relaxed, we'll find that our breath elongates. Deeper inhalation. Longer, slower exhalation. And so your natural breath may or may not be like this. It may or may not be changing to this at this moment. So another thing that we can do to aid in relaxation is purposely control the breath. So let's just take a few moments to control the breath and breathe a little bit deeper. So after your next exhalation, let's breathe in slowly to the count of 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So continuing to breathe with longer breaths. Maybe counting to 5 is too much for you. The idea is just to have a slightly longer inhalation and exhalation to aid in the relaxation of the body. And perhaps counting to 5 is too much, and that, of course, can be more stressful and actually increase the tension in the body. So choosing a number, choosing a way to breathe that is right for you. And now we'll add one more piece to the breathing, which is increasing the exhalation by a count of 2. So if you were breathing in to 5, see if you can breathe out to 7. If you're breathing in to 3, see if you can breathe out to 5. So for example, after the next exhalation, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now continuing that on your own pace, seeing if you can have the exhalation slightly longer than the inhalation. And now letting go of counting, letting go of forcing the breath, giving the control back to the body itself. Allowing the body to control the breathing as you become the passive observer, just watching as the body breathes. How amazing it feels to be alive in this moment. I know that that's not necessarily what everyone shares with me in this moment, but as I feel my own breath, I do recognize this miracle of being alive. And now seeing if you can open your your mind, to your heart, to yourself. Recognizing that this is the me that's here right now. This is the only me. There is no me of the past. There is no me of the future. The only me that there exists is this one here now. Is it possible to be loving and embrace this you that's here now? If you're waiting for idealized version of you to show up before you love yourself, you're going to be waiting a very, very long time. So why not? Why not embrace yourself right now exactly as you are? Explore you as you are. Roll out the red carpet for whatever shows up. Welcome. Welcome me who's here. I can love the me that's here now. So see if it's possible to open your heart to unconditionally love yourself in this moment. That no matter what happens, I can be here to support myself. I can be my best friend, my own ally. As things get hard, I can count on me to be here for myself. And so if you like repeating a few phrases that may be helpful in this process of self-compassion. So if you like repeating after me, may I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible. May I be happy, content, and at peace. May I be safe and protected and free from harm. May I be healthy, whole, complete, to whatever degree is possible for me. May I have the courage to love myself exactly as I am. And now let's return our attention to our bodies, to our breath. What do we notice about the breathing? What do we notice about sensations in the lower back? What do we notice about sensations in the upper back? How about the chest? What do you feel in the chest? What about the neck? The jaw? The eyebrows and the forehead? Then the body as a whole. What do you feel? And so let's go ahead and begin to draw our practice to its close. I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. Okay. Thanks everyone for practicing with me. Thanks for being here today. How did your practice go? Feel free to write in the chat. Also, any questions or comments about cognitive therapy, about mindfulness's relationship to self-improvement? I welcome your comments. And in the meantime, one thing I wanted to do is while I was repeating or saying those phrases, I was reminded of something that Spirit Rock had recently put a few additional phrases. So I'm going to see if I can find a few of those to share with you. Here we go. Perfect. So I'll just go ahead and say these few. May I be filled with compassion for myself and others. May I hold myself with care and respect. May I treasure my life. May I be filled with kindness. So I'll say those one more time. May I be filled with compassion for myself and others. May I hold myself with care and respect. May I treasure my life. May I be filled with kindness. So it's good, I suppose, to have some alternatives, right? Like if you get maybe these 4 phrases that I always use, they resonate with me really well, and I think what I see out of those 4 phrases is kind of this universality, that it's something that everyone can relate to. May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I be at peace. That all 4 of these things is something that definitely all human beings are looking for. So it's just that that's the idea. But maybe there's more. Maybe there's something specific that is helpful for you in your own loving kindness or self-compassion practice. Thanks, Jean, for sharing. That is something I did think about those who watch this live event, my mindfulness practice, and are in therapy. And I don't think I've done anything specific to that, to talk to that directly. So that's one thing that you can do, is look in your community, the MBCT. I'll just go ahead and write it in the chat. Oops. And then I want to write as well what it stands for: mindfulness based cognitive therapy. So that is, if you don't have MBSR in your community, maybe MBCT is there. And I haven't looked to see what's online. I do know that there are mindfulness-based stress reduction courses that are available online at all different hours. That, of course, on Insight Timer, I'm not allowed to tell you where you can find those, but those are available. And so it doesn't matter what region of the world you live in, you can sign up for those courses. And you can start to see the improvement. And again, like I've said this many times, but that's my mindfulness journey. I took mindfulness-based stress reduction. I saw the huge improvement in my life because of watching myself do stupid things, right? And going, oh, hey, that's a stupid thing that I didn't realize that I'm doing. So now I'm going to see, hey, can I, instead of reacting and reacting in an unskillful way? Is it possible for me to be a bit more skillful in my interaction with others and, of course, my interaction with myself? Don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. Before I begin each of my therapy sessions, we begin by using your 3 breaths to center to get grounded before we begin. Thanks, Jean, for sharing. And that is something that you can feel free to use. 3 breaths to recenter. The first breath is to pay full attention to the breath. The second breath is to feel the body relax, or to see if you can allow your body to be more relaxed with the second breath. And then the third breath is to go, hey, what's important right now? So I've got a recording on Insight Timer that you can feel free to use. So do check that out. Check out all my stuff on Insight Timer. That's what helps keep me here. Now that my kids are back to school today, I'm like, woohoo! I'll have more time, and I can finally start working a bit more on my offerings here on Insight Timer. So I've been really looking forward to getting back to work, let's say, and getting some stuff accomplished. So it's as much as I love having my kids around, it's nice that it happens, just for 2 full months out of the year, so that I can. I do need time to myself. I need time for my own things as well. So do take care, everybody. It's been great chatting with you this morning. Hopefully this has been an interesting session. Again, I haven't posted what's going on next week, but don't worry. I have a lot more time coming up to think about what I'm going to be doing and what kind of sessions we can have, as well as additional recordings. I don't think I've uploaded a recording in ages. I owe Jean the Guest Room by Rumi, if nothing else. So I know that's on my priority list. I've started working on a course about an intro to mindfulness. So I've got some of it written out, but again, it's something that I feel like I've tabled for ages. So that should be coming soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take 3 breaths to recenter. Thanks, Jean. I will. Do take care. Let's close our practice as we do with well wishes to ourselves and to everyone else. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all life on earth, the universe, and beyond be happy and peaceful. Take care. I'll be back on Tuesday. Looking forward to it. See you then. Bye-bye.